Little day 3 intro music for you.
Yeah, a little lo-fi hip hop. I like it.
You know, there's a really solid beat drop right here. Here comes. We'll let it breathe just a little bit. Yeah.
Nice.
That felt pretty nice. Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 3 here live. I almost said Pack Expo. It's not Pack Expo. It's LabelExpo. And I am here in the S1 booth, and I am joined by Tom Hauenstein.
Correct.
And I said it.
You got it.
I totally nailed
Not
it.
An easy one.
Tom is winning at the facial hair game today. So he has defeated me, and I have submitted to his victory. So well done.
I appreciate that. I spent a lot of time in the mirror this morning trying to get it just right. So that works out.
It's right. I have a face for podcasting. So, hey, if you are joining us live here, we're live on LinkedIn. We're live on something else, YouTube. There it is. And we're all pretty tired, so we're going to try to bring a little bit more energy. But if you can give us the energy, I've got my laptop right here. Please, drop a comment, ask a question. Let us know that you can hear us, because the internet's been a little suspect around here. So if you're like, it's super choppy, we can't see. So you got to let us know, and then we'll figure that part out. So Tom, why don't you start by just introducing yourself? We're going to talk a lot about S1, but Let's hear about the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. So I've been in print for a long time. Let me start at the beginning. Tom Hauenstein. I'm the vice president of sales for the S1 labels and packaging division of S1. Been in print a long time. A buddy of mine owns a commercial print shop in Sarasota, and I used to burn plates, color separations for offset printing back in, I was 22, so I don't even think I can count that high as far as years back. Started there, and then also in Sarasota is where LexJet or S1 is headquartered, and I met a couple guys that work there, and they're like, "Oh, you're in print? You should come work for us." And completely different ball game as they work in the wide format inkjet world, Epsons, HPs, Canons, those type of printers selling photo paper and canvas. So started with S1 in 2003. And one of our divisions was a channel to market partner for Michelman, which is the ink adhesion primer for the Indigo press. Around 2012, we moved that distribution over to LexJet, and I'm like the Mikey likes it. When something new happens, they're like, "Hey, just give it to Tom. Let's see what he does with it." Right. So I'm always the guinea pig guy. And so they gave that to me. And then, we started to sell into this Indigo space. At that time, it wasn't really flex pack. It was only label converting. But it was just growing, like a compound annual growth rate of 15 to 20%. And we started to look at the numbers and hey, we're only selling one product into this market, and it's got an amazing growth. Let's diversify our portfolio. And that business plan kind of brought about that labels and packaging division. So we wanted to start offering varnishes, water-based and UV cured varnishes for label converting. And then also we started to look at flex pack films. We wanted to sell label stocks, but when I looked at the market, it was pretty saturated, right? I didn't envy going up against the big guys, the Wausau's, the Fassons. I don't think that would have been pretty difficult, but digital flex pack was in its infancy. It still is.
Right.
So we thought that there might be an opportunity there to start innovating some new flex pack films, as well as offering your tried and true chip bags or pouch webs and stuff like that. So it's kind of what got us to today.
Got it. I can tell you that if there's anyone out there watching either live or on replay and you're in the label converting space, we'd be like, you also could have gotten into the label material, because that was a bit of a struggle over the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, finding material.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But we're getting through it, right, team? We're making it. We're getting there. Well, that's awesome. And so in a nutshell today, as you would say, somebody has no idea. They walk up to your booth here at LabelExpo and they're like, "Okay, so what do you do?" And you would say to them, "What is it that you do?" And just in a quick, little 15 to 30 second nugget of information, what does S1 do?
Perfect. So what we try to do is let's break it into liquids. On the ink adhesion coating or varnish side, we try to create custom products at very small minimum order quantities. So let's say you're a brand and you go to a label converter and you're like, "I want to do 20,000 labels," and it's got the sick glitter for a beer can or something like that. So we would create a custom glitter, and you could buy just 2 pails of it, and we would never make that product again. So we downsize specifically for shorter run digital. Same thing with ink adhesion. If there's a specific application and ink's not sticking, we'll custom build you an ink adhesion coating for that. So that's one side. That's on the liquid side. And then of course, channel to market Michelman products. We always do that. And then on the film side, we really hyper focus on sustainable film. So we have product that is single-use plastics, and those are popular, of course, because of their price point, but really a recyclable solution or a compostable solution that has a good end-of-life solution. And I kind of said this in another deal. I don't care what your politics are as far as carbon dioxide and all that stuff. Are we polluting the air and what's your carbon footprint? One thing I think we can all agree on is that ocean-bound plastics are a serious issue. Pollution is a serious issue. Filling up landfills are a serious issue. So can we provide solutions where our packaging ends up becoming plant fertilizer as opposed to just filling up big mounds of dirt or killing fish?
Got it.
Yeah.
And another serious issue is that was way longer than 30 seconds.
Sorry, I'm not good at math. Not my strong suit.
It's okay. It's all right. I went to public school. Shout out to all the public school teachers out there. You guys are heroes. Okay, cool. So that makes a ton of sense. So you've got the adhesion stuff, the coating stuff, and then you've got really it looks like from your booth making a real push into compostable films.
That's right.
Okay. So let's talk about that for a second, because it seems like that's the main theme of the show for you all.
I would agree. Yeah.
Okay. So I get a lot of questions about compostable films.
Mm-hmm.
One of which is, okay, so let's talk first about the product, right? Like how are they compared to traditional films from like a water
Moisture barrier, oxygen
barrier, those kinds of things. You can tell I'm super well versed in flexible films, but how do they perform relative to their kind of fossil fuel derived friends and family, I guess?
Okay. Yeah, it's a great question. So there's just a lot of development in that. So as far as the oxygen barrier, moisture barrier, we could do some pretty clever things there. So obviously you can metalize these films just like you would a polyester or polypropylene, and that adds a lot of both of those barriers. But then you're putting a bunch of aluminum in the ground. What we're really working on are water-based coatings that provide those barriers. And a lot of that heavy lifting is coming from Michelman, where you just lay down a water-based coating that is certified compostable, and it provides oxygen barrier, moisture barrier, and even heat seal if you like. So we engineer around that. And then some of the films, whether they're ethanol based or what have you, just have a lot of inherent barrier in them, just like a standard fossil fuel friend and family film would. Yes. So
that's very alliteratory.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like gilding Golden Globes, right? It's just fun things to say. And then what we also see from, like, let's say a production of running these bags and sealing these bags, a lot of these biosealants compared to low density polyethylene actually seal at a lower seal initiation temperature, and they have a better seal. So you can actually run these faster than a traditional film that has been engineered for years and years and years to run fast. These actually run faster just because you're starting with a completely different building block to begin with.
Okay. And by the way, if you all have any questions, bring the ruckus, as the Wu-Tang Clan said. You can tell I'm feeling a little hip hoppy today. I've got my Jordans on.
Yeah, I'm stuck in like 1992 hip hop. If you give me Keith Murray or Wu-Tang or any of those guys, it's just all day long.
I knew we would get along. I knew it. That's great. So let's hang out here on this compostable film for a second. Sure. So the films are being used in. I've got so many fun questions, but they're being used for. Is it like stick packs, sachets, stand-up pouches? What's sort of the primary use case that you're seeing right now?
Yeah. So in the digital flex pack market as a whole, let's take compostable out. It seems like 98% of the market is in the pouching world. What we are seeing is more snack webs to do vertical form, fill, and seal, horizontal form, fill, and seal. That's starting to gain more traction. Stick packs are starting to gain more traction. We actually even see, I don't know if you're familiar with cold seal compared to heat seal.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see more people start to dive into cold seal digitally, which hasn't been done
Right.
to this date. So it's starting to expand, 98% pouching, but I would expect over the course of the next 5 or 10 years, it's going to look more like the whole packaging market where it's going to go into all of them. Our films, obviously we have snack webs and pouch webs, clear white metal that are compostable and recyclable as well.
Okay, got it. I've got a fun idea. So I thought maybe, because we got behind us, it looks like we've got an award that you won.
Mm-hmm.
We've got and some pouches. I'd be curious. I'm gonna take my phone.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. We're gonna pop this thing up. Watch this. Ready?
All right. Let's see it.
You guys ready for this? We're
This
trying.
is a whole new world. This hasn't been tested, so let's see how it goes.
I'm Dwayne Wayne, and this is a whole new world. Do you know that reference?
Yeah.
That went deep. Yeah.
That was a Cosby spinoff for those at home.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So we're gonna go add to stream. All right. I'm gonna stand up. So let's talk about this award you guys won.
Okay. Yeah.
Right,
So we won the.
Go ahead.
We won the Innovation Award on Tuesday at the Global Reunion Awards ceremony at LabelExpo. And again, that was really focused around our compostable films or bio-based films. Going through a bunch of different certifications, Adam. We started with BPI, which is the United States certification for industrial composting. And now we're working with TUV, which is a European. We really like TUV because they also have a home compostable standard, and we're about to have some of our structures be certified home compostable. We also work with CMA, Composters Manufacturers Association, and they're certified for that. And then finally, we just started working with a company called Pila, who creates a Lomi, which is a home composting unit, and it's affordable. It's perfect for the consumer or end user that has their own garden that they're growing, herbs, spices, tomatoes, what have you.
Awesome.
And they're approved for that as well. So no plant ecotoxicity. The plants that you grow out of it are perfect to eat. They break down in a certain amount of time very quickly. So it's just a nice end of use. Specifically, I get excited about the cannabis market because I think there's an opportunity to create this awesome cycle where you grow cannabis, you put it in packaging, the consumer uses it, then they compost the packaging, and you grow more cannabis out of the packaging. And then that's like the cannabis circle of life, right? A little Lion King reference there. So
let's go over to the Lomi here. I'll take my hopefully I can still hear you. But.
Okay. Well, yeah. So he's going to the Lomi. We are giving away a Lomi. So if you haven't dropped your business card in our booth, we're at 3431. This is a home composter, and it's about $500, but it's really awesome. It'll turn. But what you could do is take one of our pouches and throw some banana peels in there, some apple cores, some potatoes, whatever, as opposed to putting in your trash. Throw it in here, and in about a day and a half, it turns that plus our packaging into compost that you could use in your home garden. So really cool end-of-life solution for packaging. And Adam and I, we were talking about this a little bit at the beginning. Packaging not ending up in the ocean or in the landfill is really what we're trying to strive for, and we think we are well on our way. And I have to give a shout out to my man who's right over here, Dan Hauenstein, off camera. He is the guy that's doing all the legwork as far as, hey, Dan, wait. So Dan is the man that really works with all the certification bodies and does a ton of legwork to make sure that these products actually end up working in the environment that we hope they do. So thank you, Dan, for that.
That's awesome. I'm going to go back to my seat. Can you hear me through your headphone there?
No? Okay. Not really. So Adam is coming back to his seat if you can't hear him, but he's still walking around. But again, if you have time and you're at the show and you happen to be seeing this, please drop your business card in. That Lomi home composter is a really nice addition to any kitchen. All right, he's back.
I made it. That was a first.
All right.
That was a first for me there. But I could hear you through the phone.
Perfect.
So I heard all you're talking about. Yeah, so the Lomi is interesting, and it's cool. If you're still here, come by the booth and drop in your business card. We have one in my house, and it's been awesome it's been really exciting, and also like kind of sad to realize, like, man, I wish there was just more stuff that we could compost. So my family and I were going to try a 30-day period, like a plastic-free month.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or like, can we feed our 5 tiny humans and our 2 dogs and our 2 adult humans? Like, can all of us eat and live buying nothing in single-use plastic? And it sounds like, okay, yeah.
Wait, I bet that's going to be more of a struggle.
It's going to be, we've already started like trying to plan it out. And my wife's like, how are we going to buy bread?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. We'll get a bread maker. I don't really know, but
yeah. I mean, that's bread bags are polyethylene, so at least they're a single structure monoweb, and you could bring that to like a store drop off if you're in Florida. That's like a Publix or Midwest Kroger's. But yeah, you're going to struggle there, unfortunately. But that's opportunity for all of us to get better in that regard.
Yeah. So I'll report back as to how that went.
Yeah, please do. I'm interested to read up on that.
Okay, so let's kind of recap here. So y'all are growing and building this sort of, I don't know, fleet or offering of compostable, currently industrially compostable, hopefully home compostable certified films. I did have one more question on that.
Okay.
I did one more question because I do get this a lot, especially on TikTok, because TikTok is crazy.
Yes, it is.
It's crazy. It's a crazy place. But I get the question about what happens to compostable film if it goes to the landfill. So I've been told that it's not much different because there's not a whole lot of water and oxygen getting into landfill.
That's correct.
Is that about right?
Yeah. So it's an anaerobic environment, and unfortunately, bugs need oxygen to survive. So something that in a composting unit might compost in like 90 days, in a landfill it might last thousands of years. Right. So it's important that, and that's a big struggle, is how do you get the products to where they should be going? Because we can put something into a compostable structure, but John Smith consumer, right, just throws it in his trash, and then the whole value prop is gone.
Right.
But what we see with the young nation, they're way more focused on holding brands accountable for a sustainable solution, and they're way more cognizant of where their trash is going and what they try to do, and they kind of err on the side of caution. I think a lot of stuff ends up in a recycle bin that has no business being there.
Correct.
So but then it's up to the recycling facility to sort through all that. But I think there's a way. You have to make it simple for the consumer, and that's why the Lomi is so exciting, because you're just doing it right there on site. It just eliminates, is it going into the green bin or the blue bin, or does it go into the trash? It's just like, no, it just goes into my Lomi with the rest of my food scraps, and I'm growing tomatoes out of it the next day.
Yeah, I'm let's connect up after this, because I'd love to take something back and make a TikTok video or something about the Lomi. Corey Connors actually also got one. If you follow Corey on social media,
yeah, absolutely, I do
as well. So,
okay. Yeah, we'll give you some pouches and you could take back and throw in there.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be great. So is it safe to say then, I know I said we were going to wrap up, but I'm a pastor by trade. So it's like, if you've ever been to a church service and they're just like, okay, I got my last point. And you're like, all right, this for another 20 minutes here. Let's not do that. But is it safe to say then that for compostable packaging today, is it still safe to be like, when in doubt, throw it out? Or because if you don't know, right, this has kind of been my take. If you don't know what to do with it, just throwing it in your recycle bin isn't super helpful, because it's either going to end up in a landfill or contaminating stuff that could be recycled.
Correct. And it's so tough, because the recycling solution by state, county to county, city to city, country to country is completely different.
Right.
So it's really hard for people to manage these rules, and those rules aren't static. They're dynamic. I feel like they change on a weekly or monthly basis. So
the only thing worse is the cannabis regulations right now.
Oh yeah, that's a mess. So just over engineer if it comes to cannabis and hope for the best. But
right.
Yeah, that's always got, especially because it's not federally legal, right? So you're driving all that decision making to the local level, and that's going to create turmoil.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. If you're not sure, and this is where the brands have to be really good at giving specific instructions,
correct, how
to handle it, and educate the customer on what to do with it. But yeah, if you're uneducated and unsure, I think you're right on.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, right, like we just talked about, if it's a compostable structure and it ends up in the wild, which we don't want it to, right? We don't want litter, we don't want pollution. But if it is made from a compostable structure, it is not going to turn into microplastics and end up being this really contaminating thing, right? So that's positive. Like its other counterparts, if it is in the landfill, it's going to be in the landfill, just like everything else is going to be. And best case is get yourself a Lomi, come down and win it, and then you can turn this into usable fertilizer, essentially, right? Is it fertilizer? Compost. You can use it for compost.
Soil enhancer sometimes is the buzzword.
I heard
now.
soil enhancer.
Yeah. I think there's, they're getting a little squirrely about what defines compost. So
right.
Soil enhancer, I guess, is the preferred terminology of today, which again, due to dynamics, will probably be something different tomorrow.
It's probably going to be something different. Well, that's super exciting. So how do people get in touch with you and learn more about S1? They can, obviously, we got the website here on the down over here.
It's
S1LP.com.
my jacket. Yeah. This side. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So S1LP.com is great. I mean, you can always email me at tom.hauenstein@s1.com.
You're going to have to spell that one.
Good luck with that. It's HAUENSTEIN. I think I'm going to just have to hire a John Smith to just make it easier to reach us.
Just change your email to John Smith.
I should do that. You
know people, right?
Yeah. Or maybe like John Q Composter.
You know what's funny? So there's a company in Sandy, Utah called Peak.com, spelled the same way last way.
Okay.
Peak.com.
Yep.
So I went to a job fair and they were like, "Oh, are you looking for a new job?" And I said, "No, I'm looking for an email address." And I said, "How many qualified leads does Peak.com need for me to own the email address adam@peak.com?" And I never got anywhere.
No. Have you gone on and tried to buy that domain?
They still own it. Still a company.
Yeah, just throw a number at them.
Yeah. I'll give you $20 for this domain, peak.com. Yeah, it's probably not going to work.
I bet Hauenstein.com's available, though.
You should check it out. Yeah, it's probably still there.
Yeah, I bet. $4 for that one.
$4.17.
There you go.
Well, Tom, this has been great. Thanks for continuing to innovate and push. Congrats on the award.
Thank you.
That you all won. And hopefully it is the end of the day, or it's the afternoon here at LabelExpo. But if you're milling around, you're slightly hungover, we understand. But you should still come on over to S1 and check out what they got going on here. If not, you can find them on the interwebs, s1lp.com, and find Tom Hauenstein online.
Yeah, that works perfect. Adam, thank you so much for the time and the opportunity, and thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Tom.
Awesome.